and how old they are. Then we'll bring them into the screen. If they want to sit throughout, they can do, but then probably they'll get bored. So they can come in when you call them. You can call them. It can be just then they can come, and then they can also say hi, and I'll ask your names and so on. So we'll keep it like that going. Then I'll switch. See, the timing is like this: 7 to 7:30 will be with both of you. Okay, 7:30 she's joining. So once she joins, so before that itself, first 15-20 minutes I'll spend with Roshan, and I'll ask you a few things. How did you feel as a husband? Is that you can talk about the sweet box you gave and the chocolate box you gave and human interest story, if you want to share that. And then, so we have Cynthia here, who's the head of marketing, and Sundar is the head of IT to introduce. And of course, Roshan and Cyrus,
Hi, Sundar.
So then once she joins, I'll switch tracks and go to her and ask her about her squash. And then, you have actually coached her, no, Cyrus? You have been her coach?
Yes.
So, yeah, you have. So that's
I have
the link.
been. So she's been training at the Indian Squash Academy at Egmore. So we are all been around. So that's where even I'm based at the Indian Squash Academy.
Oh, okay. So that one we'll talk about. You talk about when I ask you, you can talk about the Indian Squash Academy, what you do, what is the future, how do you, for India, how do we bring these people, how does India become world class in this, and things like that, so I'll talk about tennis also. We are doing well now with Sindhu and Sanya and all that. So now squash is also emerging as a thing. How popular is squash? You can talk about that. How popular is squash in India? Why more people are not taking it up as compared to say badminton or tennis or something like that. So that part of it we can discuss, and then from there we will, of course, I'll ask some general questions as a husband about the thing, and also diabetes part also comes in. When Joshna comes in, of course, there's no diabetes, so we'll talk about.
Joshna says she's logged in, but she can't see any of us.
Can you let her in, Sundar? Is it the right?
She has joined in a different. No, she has not joined, sir, yet.
Why don't you send her the link again, Sundar?
Yes, sir. I'll do it, sir.
I'm just doing that.
StreamYard.com.
No, she has joined, sir. She has joined.
She joined, is it?
Hi.
Hi, Joshna. Thank you for joining.
Good morning. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
You know Roshan and Cyrus.
Yes. Hi, Cyrus.
And Cynthia is the head of marketing at Center, and Sundar is our head of IT. So we just joined in a couple of minutes ago. So you're asking how the flow would be. So first of all, thank you for your. Is it frozen? You're okay?
No, I'm here. I'm just my face is.
Yeah. I think it's freezing on and off. Okay. As they're just asking how the flow would be. So what I'll do is before you join, you'll be joining at 7:30, right? And like this, you can just join. And the moment you join, Joshna, you'll switch tracks, and it's a very easy info. There's no formal agenda or anything. The whole idea is that I have many people like Roshan who have done very well for themselves. She's about 40 years of typing and doing well. So she's really an inspiration for many people. That's the whole idea behind this. People think, oh, type 1 diabetes, I'm going to die, I'm going to do this, do that. So that kind of a fear to get out of, that's the main idea behind this. But then where you come in will be fitness, So see, there are two types of diabetes. Type 1 diabetes, which Roshan has, is not preventable by diet or exercise. But that's only 1 to 2% of all the diabetic patients. 95 to 98% of all diabetes in India, close to 80 million people. That's all type 2, and that can be easily prevented if you're a sports person, fitness, weight loss, exercising. So that's where you come in. So we have actually Anil Kumble also as one of our brand ambassadors. Sachin was there for about a year as a brand ambassador. Then we have Anil Kumble now. Different people come in to say, none of them have diabetes, but they're all talking about fitness and preventing diabetes and so on. So in that context, of course, I'll be asking you about why you took up squash. Those are kind of questions, more popular as tennis and thing. How did you get into squash? It's considered mainly a man's game. So how did thing, but you have popularized it and you've shown how, among ladies, you can become a real sport. And then we'll talk about some of your medals and your achievements. Then we'll talk about your future. What is the future ambitions that you have with relation to squash? And we'll ask you some general tips about people who want to take up this game. What you would be your advice to them? And then a few other things about fitness and how much you have to practice. I'll ask you probably a question about the 10,000 hour rule. Malcolm Gladwell's. I'm sure you've heard this. That to become world class, you need to practice anything for 10,000 hours. And so it's been recently disproved, by the way.
I've not heard that. I'm sorry, but I'll go research on it.
It's a very famous thing. In his Malcolm Gladwell is a very famous author, and there's a very famous book called Outlier. So in that, he has a chapter called the 10,000 hour rule. So he says, unless you practice anything for 10,000 hours, you cannot become world class. Whether it's piano, whether it's sports, whether it is anything, art of speaking, anything, unless you do that for 10,000 hours. So recently somebody did a study on that after many years and said, no, it's really not true, because some people can do it in 1,000 hours if they are gifted, exceptionally gifted. You really don't have to work for 10,000 hours. But the other day I was talking to, one of the first people I interviewed in this program, I started this only a month ago, was Jas Sethi. She's a very, very, very upcoming type 1 person who is also a choreographer, dancer, and so on. So she, her parents, she's actually the daughter of Geet Sethi, the world billiard champion. He has won 8 times world. So Geet Sethi's daughter.
I know Geet actually. Yeah.
You know Geet. So Geet came on the program.
Yes.
So he called me and he said, you did this program so well. Like, how can I help you? I said, you come on program with me. And so he came. And so I interviewed both Kiran, his wife, and him. And so I asked him, do you believe in this? You're a world champion 9 times actually. So I said, do you practice this 10,000? Do you believe in this 10,000 hour rule? And he said, you know what? I have read that book and I actually calculated how many hours, and it turned out it's exactly 10,000 hours when I won my first world title. So he said it's true, because here I am a standing example. I calculated number of hours and how many things, exactly it came to 10,000 hours.
Yeah,
so,
I saw that whole interview. It was very interesting. It was 1.5 hours, Joshna, but time just flew,
Time just flies, we don't.
So well, doctor, you really.
Yeah, actually,
and my sons were watching.
Geet is a great guy.
Yeah, Geet's very good. Very good.
He's a great guy to talk to about the game and mental stuff, and he's really good that way actually.
And now he's also training. He's got this Olympic gold quest, so he is training people about that. And so he spoke about that, and Vishwanathan Anand and himself, and all that. So I was just thinking that just talking about diabetes all the time, we'll talk about other aspects of life and how we can actually prevent it. So that is where people like you play a big role, because you're all role models for the country. So that's why suddenly, it was Cynthia who said, why don't you ask Cyrus whether Joshna will join? And then I was surprised when he called back and said, yeah, Joshna said she'll come. I said, oh, great, so we'll have this. So we have been actually putting this out in all the social media repeatedly, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, everything we have put now. And so I think there'll be a lot of people coming forward to hear this. And the other thing is that after the event, irrespective of how many people actually join at that particular time, the reach, first of all, is several times more. And then it stays in Facebook. That's what happened in Jas Sethi's show. Initially, about 200 people were, joining in for the actual event. Today, it's more than 80,000 people who have viewed it. And it's still going on, still growing. So, so, and that was the first one I did, So I think it has a very big reach. And today, now, just to let you know, we'll be doing it. So the StreamYard, as far as you're concerned, will be exactly like this. We'll be just talking, asking some questions and so on. But it's going to be simultaneously streamed. And we didn't do this with Jas Sethi. It will be simultaneously streamed through 3 channels. So there is a hospital channel of ours, Dr. Mohan's diabetes channel, which has today 87,000 followers. And then there is my private YouTube channel, which I just started, which has 13,000 followers. So we have more than 100,000 people. Then I have a YouTube channel, that is a Facebook channel. Then for 2 Facebook. Then I have my YouTube channel, which has nearly 19,000 subscribers. So
Oh,
1,20,000 people will be now directly exposed to us. How many of them will join? I have no idea. But it will go, notification will go to all of them. And these numbers are growing day by day. Okay. And it will be therefore both in YouTube as well as in the Facebook. Simultaneously in two Facebook, it will be going. And this YouTube. That's why it shows the stream yard, where you can go simultaneously into 3 channels. So this is the first time we're trying it, by the way. We haven't done it early. That's why we wanted the dry run. And Cynthia and Sundar are the behind the scenes people who do that. So do you have any questions for me, Joshna?
No, I mean, the way you're saying it's streaming live, I'm getting nervous now. But
I will not ask any uncomfortable question.
no, that's fine. You can ask me anything. Like I said, I'm happy.
You just talk. You don't see on this channel what you're talking now. There are only 5 people. Okay.
Yeah.
Even Sundar and Cynthia will quit. So there'll be only 4 of us, and the others are watching live. You don't see them at all. Okay. They may ask some questions here, and on my chat box it will come. If it is something specific, if it's something nice, I will ask you. If there's something it should not be asked, I will not even ask that. So that is one thing. The other thing I just want to tell you is Deepika Palikal. The family is very close to me. Her grandmother is my patient, and her mother Susan also is a very, very close friend of mine. So last year when we had a diabetes awareness program, Deepika was one of our chief guests. So she came on the stage, and so we had a program with Deepika. So I just wanted to tell you, I know that family. I don't know Deepika that well, but she came for our program. But I know her mother and her grandmother. Grandmother is my patient, so I know them. Grandmother, grandfather were my patients, so I know them well. So. That's a small world. That's what I'm trying to say.
Very.
Excellent. So nothing to be nervous about. Everything will be fine. You're being very modest. So. Do you have any questions, Cyrus? Any questions for me? Anything that you don't want me to ask about?
I wanted to ask about Roshan and her food habits. And, or really, we should ask about you should ask my children about that.
They were only waiting for this opportunity, doctor. For this opportunity, I said only in the dry run.
Probably some secrets will come out, but then it doesn't matter.
So secret is coming out right now.
I know. So, but she controls the diabetes so well. I'm sure people will be jealous of you, and they'll say,
she actually does it amazingly. I mean, I've known
she overdoes it
years and years. Pregnant, and the way she treats her body is unbelievable.
Correct. No, when she was pregnant, I used to tell her, keep your sugars around 80, 90, 100. She'll bring it at 50, And I'll say, 50 is too low, She'll say, it's okay, doctor, and manage. And it's not okay, 50 is not okay. Push it up.
My mother will take a mango to eat. If my father says mango.
Mango. Oh.
And if my father says the name of Dr. Mohan, she will... Her eyes will become big and she just drop it.
How cruel and being treated like a monster. I'll call Boogeyman. Okay, so sweet that was. Okay, you can bring up the mango incident, by the way.
Sir, we want everyone to join 5 to 10 minutes earlier. So we'll be comfortable by testing it.
Yeah. So I think for
Road,
we join about 10 minutes before 7, so 6:45, 6:50. So we can, because you see, we'll be chatting like this, and then when he says yes, we'll go live. But for Joshna, that problem is not there because we'll be already going live. So you just come in, Joshna, and then when you come in. 7:30, you said you're joining, no? You're welcome to join.
I'll join a little earlier also. So just whenever you want to start, you start. Like I'm easy.
Perfect. So 7, we are starting. So the flow, what I was thinking was, I'll start because it has some connection with me, as a diabetologist. So I'll start with Roshan and then ask her, a few questions about her diabetes and her life and her diet.
Yeah, please. This is all about Roshan. I'm just a small guest appearance.
Then I'll ask something about
don't worry about that.
Yeah. Once I come to Cyrus, then the squash is coming in. Okay. And through
Okay.
that Cyrus link, I'll come to you.
Yeah.
And then we'll
no problem. It's easy.
Yeah.
Don't worry about me being there and asking me questions and making me feel like
No, I
I'm
didn't
being
want to
left out.
repeat you guys asking all
not
about
at all.
diabetes.
So I'm
Great.
sometimes just happy to listen to what everyone else says instead of talking. So
Oh, you're so modest. It's so nice because there are some
it's
people, I don't know. That is why the dry run helps, to understand. You'll also become comfortable. Otherwise, you'll be nervous, more nervous when you come. Who's this guy? What's he going to ask me? And what? Now we break the ice, so it becomes easy. Incidentally, yesterday something happened. We can tell Joshna also about that. So Roshan's father's best friend is one Dr. Vakil in Mumbai. Okay. So she sent him the thing saying that we are on the show and all that. And he said, yeah, I saw Dr. Mohan's teaser video and all. Then incidentally, he's telling her, incidentally, I know Dr. Mohan well. I knew him when he was a student and all that. I knew his father very well. My father was the first diabetes specialist of India, by the way. And I am second generation. My daughter.
I know. My grandfather told me this actually.
Okay.
I was telling my don't know if you know him, PM Velyappa.
Of course. Yo, he's your grandfather. Okay. It's another small world. Okay. Very
yeah,
good.
So I was just telling him yesterday that I was coming on your show.
What is it?
Yes.
GG Apartments.
GG Minar, yeah.
Yeah, GG Minar.
Yeah.
Because one of my aunts unfortunately was killed there, and he came for that. Mrs. Sierra.
I know about that.
That's my aunt.
That is your aunt?
Yeah. Yeah. There was a problem there because we didn't know it was a murder until the body was cremated.
Right.
It
was the servant, right?
Servant who with the driver, who smothered her to death. And we said she had a heart attack. And so I went there and said, heart attack. And her daughter is my aunt. So she lives in Singapore. She couldn't come. So we said, okay, go ahead. And we cremated the body also. Next day, after the cremation was over, somebody said some guy entered that house and all that. And then that time I met your grandfather. And then he said, oh my God. Then we did some inquiry. Then we caught that servant and the maid there. And apparently this driver had come and they both colluded and killed her. And then they turned against me. The police said, you are the criminal. I said, what the hell did I do? I just came there to help out for the thing. She's my aunt. They said, oh, how did you not allow postmortem? I said, who said about this? 24 hours, 40 hours later, they're talking about, they told one word before that, we would have done. They said, we didn't know. I said, they don't know. I don't even live here. How will I know? They just called me as a nephew. I just came in. And then I said, okay, how did it happen? She had chest pain. She died. Okay, we believe that. We don't then send every old person for a postmortem. No, it's not done in India. And it kind of died down. And anyway, there's no evidence because the body was not. So it turned out to be so you cannot forget GG Minar. So, okay. And then, of course, your grand uncle, no? Karyappa is your grand uncle, no?
He's my great grand uncle, yes.
Great grand uncle.
Great grand uncle. Yes.
Okay, that is the Velyappa's.
No, that is from my father's side.
Okay.
Yeah, Velyappa's to my mom's side. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right. Great. It's a small world, really small world. And then where do you live, Joshna? You live here in Chennai?
I live in Annanagar. Yes, I live in Annanagar.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Very good.
So just imagine, Jyotsna, I had sent this message to my parents because my dad's friends, two of them, and my dad, we are on this small WhatsApp group, and their daughters also and us. So I've been telling them all, sending them the teasers, and they said definitely we'll watch on YouTube and all like my dad's age. And then uncle rarely writes on the group. It's mostly the ladies who talk. And he wrote, I just woke up from my siesta and I saw this message that I saw the video. And years ago, I know Dr. Mohan's father, and I knew that Dr. Mohan was very young and brilliant and upcoming doctor. Many, many years ago, I don't know if he'll remember me, but I had an occasion to deal with him once on something. And it was he just spoke about it. And then I forwarded that to doctor. I said, he said, I don't know if he'll remember me. Instantly, doctor replied saying, of course, Dr. Vakil from Hext. I have a letter that sent me 35 years ago. I still have it.
Wow.
So I just forwarded it to him. The letter you wrote to me 35 years ago, and I preserved it. So I've already sent it to him, sent it to Roshan. I'm going to call him now. He'll get the shock of his life.
He had the letter with him. Like, God, everyone on my group was flawed. Having a letter of 35 years old filed.
How nice.
Really.
Wonderful. So
Dr.
I think
Mohan,
yeah, go ahead. What do you want?
you sent this a photo of you, a sticker with below you written "Thank you." How did you
Like
do
that? How do you
How
do
did
that? Somebody did it for me, and then he said it's a surprise gift, and he sent it to me. So now I have sent it out, and everybody thinks I'm a big tech expert now.
They were so kicked by that, the boys. Wow, Mama, Dr. Mohan's got this. It's amazing.
Wonderful. Okay, so 7 o'clock we'll meet, and Joshna, feel free whenever you want to join in. We'll send you. By the way, we'll send you a different link. This won't be the link, but this link will be a similar one you will get, and you just have to click on it and then come live. So Sundar, you'll send it out now. No?
Yes, sir. Immediately after this, we'll send it, sir.
Immediately after this, he'll send. Okay.
Okay.
See you all in the evening.
All right.
See you then. Thank
All
you.
India is excited. Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
Yeah.
bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye, Cynthia. Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Bye. How do we do?
Super, doctor.
Super, sir.